Check any Sunday newspaper and you will find the physical artifact of a massive deception. Glossy, full-page advertisements for private colleges printed with a bold promise, a 100% placement guarantee. But right outside the borders of that page, the numbers tell a devastating story. 45% of India's graduates are currently unemployed, and buckling under the intense pressure of securing a career, over 13,000 students take their own lives every single year. Higher education in India has quietly transitioned away from a public good. It is now a lucrative, predatory real estate business built on data manipulation. To understand how we got here, look at the sheer math of the demand. Every summer, roughly 1.5 to 2 crore students pass their 12th grade board exams. They immediately hit the most brutal bottleneck in the country, the Great Indian Entrance Exams. Whether it's NEET for medicine or JEE for engineering, the system does not have the capacity. Elite government institutions like the IITs and AIMS only accept 3 to 4% of applicants. That leaves 97% of applicants locked out. Our government simply hasn't built enough classrooms to house them. In that vacuum, parents turn to the only option left, buying into the promises of a private college brochure. This vacuum didn't appear overnight. Back in the 1990s, the global IT boom collided with India opening its economy to foreign companies like IBM and Microsoft. Suddenly, the middle class saw an engineering degree as the quickest ticket to a high-paying tech job. The government couldn't afford to build hundreds of new campuses to meet this demand. So, building on policies from 1986, Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Raw's government in 1992 opened the doors to self-financing institutions, private colleges that fund themselves by charging their own fees. The fatal loophole appeared in 2003 when the University Grants Commission, or UGC, introduced new regulations. The UGC is the government body responsible for maintaining education standards in universities. This change gave private players the legal right to open full universities, set their own syllabi, and print their own degrees. The result was explosive. Between 2010 and 2021, the number of colleges in India shot up from around 32,000 to over 45,000. And many of these new campuses weren't built by educators. They were funded by heavy-hitting politicians and real estate moguls. Education became a high-yield commercial real estate project where builders and politicians invest in sprawling campuses for a high return on investment. The students are simply paying customers. Look closer at the bold text in a typical brochure, and you'll find a tiny asterisk, a filter known as the eligibility clause. Colleges set arbitrary internal rules, like requiring a 75% academic score with 0 failed subjects, just to sit for the placement drive. In a standard batch of 500 students, this clause instantly filters out about 300 of them. Out of the 200 students left, the college manages to find jobs for 190. They then proudly print 100% placement of eligible students, ignoring the majority of the batch they intentionally disqualified. Then there's the off-campus illusion. You'll see massive campus billboards claiming a 50 lakh rupee salary package. In reality, the college had nothing to do with it. One brilliant student applied to a company like Google entirely on their own, and the college slapped their face on a poster to take the credit. If you strip away those isolated outliers, the actual median salary for graduates coming out of these private colleges has been stuck at 3 to 4 lakhs a year for the past decade and a half. When actual corporate recruiters don't show up, administrators deploy fake internships. To hit that perfect placement percentage, they push students into 2-month unpaid gigs or part-time contracts and log them in the official register as full-time corporate hires. The 100% placement guarantee is an orchestrated fraud. Across the entire country, reports show that only about 7% of colleges actually manage to place their entire class. Once the placement trick started getting exposed, private universities moved to a new marketing weapon, the Top Innovator Badge. This launched a system of data manipulation known as the patent game. Here's the systemic flaw making it possible. National ranking agencies like NIRF and NAAC reward colleges heavily for the sheer volume of patents they file, rather than the number actually approved. NIRF and NAAC are the official government bodies that score and rank Indian higher education institutions. This chart shows the patent reality for India's top institutions. Between 2020 and 2025, all of the elite IITs combined filed 6,558 patents. They had a 43% approval rate, meaning the technology was legally recognized as a unique invention. Now look at the high-volume private universities. Lovely Professional University filed 796 patents, getting only 164 approved. Galgodius University filed a staggering 2,233 patents, but only 2 were actually approved. To generate these massive filing numbers, some of these private universities have resorted to buying Chinese robotic dogs or Korean drones, showing them off at campus summits and claiming them as in-house artificial intelligence innovations. These thousands of filed patents have nothing to do with scientific advancement. They are bureaucratic spam engineered to manipulate the national ranking system and inflate admission fees. When you combine fake placements with fake research, the result is India's massive employability crisis. According to recent skills reports, only 1 out of every 5 engineering graduates actually possesses the basic skills required to do the job. For general graduates, it's just 1 in 10. This incompetence starts in the classroom. Because these institutions are run as real estate projects, they cut operational costs to the bone. Across the country, over 50% of university faculty positions are sitting completely empty. This crisis has even breached the very top of the system. At the country's most prestigious engineering institute, IIT Kharagpur, roughly 40% of the student batch recently failed to secure campus placements. The Indian higher education system is mass-producing degrees while leaving students' minds empty of industry-relevant knowledge. Millions of unemployed graduates are currently roaming the streets, while 84% of hiring managers claim they cannot find anyone with the right skills to fill their open roles. The government has to stop acting as a rubber stamp authority. They must mandate independent audits of all college placement data and immediately revoke the licenses of institutions with adequate staff. But until that happens, stop letting glass buildings dictate your future. Before taking on crushing educational debt, verify the credentials of the faculty and speak directly to alumni. In an economy flooded with millions of manipulated, mass-produced certificates, a college paper is no longer a shield. Verifiable, specialized skills are the only currency that matters.